Good morning and welcome to another conversation with Mose. And as always, I pray life is treating you well wherever you are in the world and that you're one day closer to your dreams, prayers, hopes, and aspirations coming true. And of course, today my podcast wouldn't be a podcast without a poem. So today again won't be any different. Today's poem is written by the late, great. How do you do? Stone answers back, well, and you? I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you're not a Langston Hughes fan, you should become one by picking up one of his books. I promise you your life will be changed and different, or at least your perspectives on life will be different. I want to get into this subject matter pretty strong. And today's subject for today is life after death and death after life. And I'm going to dive in, like I said, head first and really talk about some things I really didn't want to talk about at first. Because sometimes you think you're putting your words into the universe and people always say you're speaking it. So it's going to happen. But anyway, the one thing I know for sure is that death is inevitable for all of us. Whatever breathes life is eventually going to end. And to be honest with you, I feel like since my cancer, and even before my cancer, I've lost a lot of people through death, whether it was natural causes or being killed or suddenly not living anymore. Again, dying in their sleep. I've lost several cousins that have died in their sleep, people that I've known. And it's really been on my heart to live my life. I mean, really live my life. I'm in my 50s now again and a cancer survivor. And it's like when you have life-changing moments, you go through this period of, am I doing enough? Do the people I love, do they know I love them? So now I'm in the space of, I do things on purpose. Literally, I have conversations on purpose. I say things on purpose. I do things on purpose for people I love and even for myself. Because I know what my legacy should be, what I want it to look like. And talking about life after death is, I kind of want to know for myself what I want the people that love me, what I want them to feel once I'm not here. And again, this might sound a little morbid, I guess. I mean, a lot of people, we think about it, life insurance policies and leaving people money or a level of security in terms of financial woes. You know, you don't want to burden the people that you love with your funeral arrangements and things like that. And that is important. But I think you need to leave them something also to hang on to when you're not here. And I think about all the people that I love that are no longer here that have left me gems, conversations, mementos, and memories that I hang on to on the tough days. And these last few years have been really challenging for me, mentally, emotionally, financially, as you guys are aware of in past podcasts. But I've been filled with so much anxiety that, to be fully transparent, that I'm going to die and I didn't get everything I needed to get done. And I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like I'm trying to beat the clock, afraid that God's going to take me and I didn't get everything I needed to get done. And, or my parents are going to pass away before I get to my dream goal. And I know that sounds, again, crazy, but it gets me up in the morning. What have I done for my life today? What have I done for my family? What have I done for my partner? What am I doing? And again, I'm also one of those people that it's made me more present. I'm present with my family. I'm present with my friends. I'm present with my partner. I'm present with my godson. I'm saying things like, I'm proud of you. I love you. Congratulations. And, I'm doing more purposely because tomorrow isn't promised. It isn't. And sometimes I'm sad, and because the people that I love are no longer here. And to be honest, I'm literally trying to not be afraid of death in any form that it comes in. I'm really, because a couple years ago I had heart palpitations, and I felt like I was having a heart attack, and I felt like it was the end, and I kept jumping up and waking up in the middle of the night, which was also creating an anxiety because I'm like, I'm not ready to die yet. I'm not ready to die. And that's the anxiety that I had to face. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? And it's not that people don't know that I love them. They do. I mean, I don't worry about that so much, and I know my family and friends are strong. If something happened to me, they would be okay. But I want to see my movie that I wrote come to life. I want to see Paris. I want to see Italy. I want to travel more. I want to drive cross country, climb a mountain if I want to. And I hope, and what I pray for is that God allows me to do that. And I look at around and all the successful people in the world that are able to do those things. And it just baffles me that they all have either marital problems or sexual problems or any kind of, perversions. And it just seems like nobody just wants to be happy. Everybody wants more. They want to have the perfect body, the perfect face. I mean, they want to age backwards. I'll be 56 years old in July, and I'm not trying to go back. I want to look my best. I have a skin regimen. I try to look my best and feel my best, but I don't want to age backwards. I don't understand it. The obsession with looking younger, and I don't know. And I look at what money does to people, some people, and it scares me because it's the last thing I want to do. I just want to be able to take care of my family and travel, and to be honest with you, I don't like working for other people. And I've said it before, specifically, really anybody. I'm not a fan of people telling me what to do. And like I said, I'll be, God willing, 60 years old in 4 years. And I'm not angry at anybody. I don't want to, curse anybody out. I don't want to do anything to anybody. I just want to live my best life. If I want to take my mother, I've never taken my parents on a trip, just the three of us. Nothing against my brother and sister, but I want to take them somewhere. They're not going to be here forever. I'm blessed to have both my parents. I want to take my nieces and nephews out of the country, or maybe travel. I want to help them with their college or their schooling any way I can. I want to be around for that. I want to see my nieces get married and my nephews get married, and and I want to see my great nieces and nephews, graduate from high school and college and get married and have kids. And that's what I want. And that's what I believe money, it can't fix whatever is inevitable, but I want the level of security that I believe that money brings in terms of everyday life. It can't stop you from getting a disease or being killed or something that was meant to happen. But on the other side, life after death and death after life, I guess the aftermath when we lose someone to death. Because this podcast I'm not getting into spiritual beliefs. I'm not getting into whether there's a heaven or hell. That's not what this podcast is about. It's about the aftermath when you lose someone to death and your own demise. Where's your head at? What do you feel about death? How do you feel about it? Like, for example, for me, and I may be jumping around a little bit, and I apologize. I hope you guys can keep up with me. Like I told my mom, when I pass away, I want everybody to wear yellow to my funeral. I don't care if they have on black suits and yellow ties and, or yellow flowers, but I don't want my passing to be a morbid, everybody wears black type of thing. I won't be here. People can do whatever they choose to do, but I'm not saying I want them to barbecue, but honestly, I kind of do. I want people to eat. I want people to dance. I want people to laugh. And, I want people to read my books, maybe read my poetry. And, I want it to be a celebration of my life and the accomplishments. And if it makes you think about a conversation that we had, I don't want it to be that, oh my God, he's gone. What are we going to do type of memory. I want my nieces and nephews to remember me in a positive way, And the one thing I don't do with none of my nieces and nephews, I never separate them. I never say things like, I never show favoritism. I'm very conscious of that. I celebrate all their accomplishments. I say, congratulations, I'm proud of you. And although I may not agree with everything they do on their journey, I want them to know I'm there. And to be honest with you, I got my influence from my Aunt Pam. I love all my aunts and uncles in their own way, but my Aunt Pam specifically, she died, I guess it's going on 14 years now, maybe 14, 15 years. And I want to be the uncle to them as she was the aunt to me. She was very influential. And then also learning from the mistakes that I made with our relationship and not making those same mistakes with my nieces and nephews. And because I know my Aunt Pam loved me. I know beyond the shadow of a doubt. I know she walks with me, and I know I hear her voice. And she gave me a lot of nuggets to hang on to in my life that I carry. And she keeps me from losing my cool, and I hear her voice telling me things to when to calm down and when to do this and when to do that and, when to take it easy. And the same thing with my grandmother. And I believe that we all need to think about the insurance and the money, but think about what we're giving our loved ones every day. Do you really want to argue with your mom about something when you could lose her the next day? I'm not saying don't make your point. I'm not saying you can't disagree with people. Like even with my partner, I'm very aware, we're the same age and he's just a few months older than me. But I pick my battles a little bit better. Is that the last thing you want to say to somebody? Is that the last thing you want them to remember? We're not perfect, not even close. And I want to age gracefully. I want to grow old with someone. I think we all do. And I worry a lot about stuff. More than I probably should in terms of, we all do. We all worry about different things, but the death experiences that I've had have made me more conscious and aware the kind of friendships that I want to have for the rest of my life. I'm not seeking new friends, but if God blesses me with new friends, that's wonderful, because I want to see compassion in people. I want to see love in people, genuine friendship in people. And the way the world has changed, I don't recognize it. And as much as I miss the loved ones that I've lost, I don't want them to come back. I wouldn't want them to come back to the way the world looks right now. And I miss them something awful. But the world is so ugly. It's gotten worse. I don't recognize it. I barely watch TV. I don't want to plant those seeds in my head. And I guess I'm saying all that to say that no matter how many days I have left in this life, I want to enjoy them. Like even the days when I don't have no money, or when I want to see just the sun one more time. I want to spend some time with my partner and our dog, just taking those walks and enjoying each other, laughing and picking up his poop and carrying it to the trash can. I know that sounds crazy, but I enjoy my conversations with my parents, considering most of my friends don't have their parents. They can't hear their voices. I live 800 miles away from my parents. My mother's voice is like gold to me. And I hope that my voice sounds like that for other people. And it's unfortunate that I've lost a lot of friendships throughout my life, people that I really cared about. And I'm not talking about through death, it's just through life experience. People I've had to separate from. Because at this stage of my life, I can't do bitter people. I can't do angry people. I have my own bitterness and anger to deal with. I don't need nobody gaslighting me or helping me with my pain. Unless you're helping me get through it, over it, helping me embrace it. Because I'm trying to give myself grace. You know, it's been challenging these last few years. Again, as you've talked, you've heard me in other podcasts mention certain things. And life doesn't get easier. It doesn't. It hasn't. It's been better, but not easier. And it's hard to stay focused and stay positive in the midst of, like, even with me podcasting, I don't know who's listening. I don't know. I know people are listening, but I don't really get a lot of feedback. I'm not talking about the things that other people talk about, to get attention to my site. And I refuse to. It's not who I am. I don't care about the rich and famous like that, to where I got to talk about them. Unless they're influential or doing something that I respect and admire, I don't care who's sleeping with who's getting divorced and who's doing that. I could care less. I'm not going to do the political thing either. I think whoever you vote, wherever side you're leaning on, you have to do what's best for you and your family, for your life. I don't know what that looks like. I can't assume that I know what people's reasons are for doing the things that they do. But I'm here to inspire people, even when I need inspiration. Podcasting brings me joy because I feel like I'm putting my words into the universe, as young people say. Just like with my poetry, it's the same thing to me. And again, I'm aware of it. I'm conscious of what I say, and I stand by my work. I stand by what I believe in, what I stand up for, and it's my legacy. And as you guys know, I don't have any biological children, but I am a father figure to a few, I'd like to believe. And I'm not perfect. I am very flawed, and I'm very honest and transparent about my depressions and my anxiety and my fears. And I'm really trying to embrace death and not feel so much fear about it. Like, oh my God, because I really do have a fear of not doing all I came here to. I guess, let me put it shortly. Am I doing what I was assigned to do? Am I fulfilling the assignment? That's what I want to say. Am I doing what I was supposed to be doing? Because I also don't believe that other people, I've heard people say people are stunting your growth or blocking your blessings. I don't think people can do that. I think God can change your life at any time if you believe in God like that. He's removed people out of my life. He's brought people into my life. I think you have a decision to make. And I do believe that all things work for the good for those that love the Lord. I do believe that. But I think life is changing every day. And I think God can change your life anytime he wants to, at any given moment. And we have to be as prepared as we can be. And sometimes we lose people that we weren't expecting. It's like I've gotten those phone calls. So-and-so died, or so-and-so, this just happened. And I'm always thinking, what about that day when somebody calls somebody I love and said, Mose is not here? I know that feeling. And I want to continue to do, that's why I take pictures. I love taking pictures for that reason. I want people to be able to have me around them, or memories of moments that they won't ever forget. Because sometimes that's all you have to hang on to. Because life is still going to be life, and you're going to need all the help you can get to get through the rest of your life. So I guess my whole point in this podcast is that let's not fear death, but maybe live in spite of death. No matter where you are in your life, somebody needs you. somebody does. And I really feel bad for the people that are suicidal. I genuinely have compassion because that's something I could never do. Because I have too many people that love me despite my feelings. I mean, I do think that there's a level of selfishness. When you think about killing yourself, life is so precious. Even though it can be, for lack of a better word, fucked up sometimes. I would never want to kill myself. I love God. I love my parents. I love the people I love too much to do that. I've felt extremely depressed though. Extremely. Oh my God. I can't get through this depressed. I mean, I struggle with those days still. But y'all have to forgive my dog if y'all hear him barking in the background. He don't know any better. But anyway, I'm very compassionate for people that are depressed, that are filled with depression. But I try to be understanding of those people as best I can be. But I try to be understanding of those people. And it's difficult. Again, I'm sure for the people that have lost people through death and suicide and depression. But I'm one of those people, again, that you take each day as it comes. You have to. You can't be worried. You can't be ashamed of how you feel. And you got to tell people that you love how you feel. That's the other thing. I've been saying that through all my podcasts. Be transparent. If you're sad, tell somebody. Be honest with God. If you pray, tell him how you really feel. Be honest. Don't try to sugarcoat it. God knows your heart anyway. And even with my podcast, I love my dog. He drives me crazy, but he's watching me right now as I do this podcast. And it's just one of those things that he gives me joy. He brings me out of my depression. He brings me out of my sadness or whatever. And it's like, I don't know if anybody truly understands what I'm saying. It's like sometimes you just got to find joy in something, something to hang on to in the midst of your struggle. And we do have to live our lives. And there is life after death, and there is death after life. Now, in terms of, I'd like to believe that there's a heaven and there's a place where we're going to see our loved ones again. I really want to and need to believe that. But you know what? Again, I guess I'll find out when the time comes. But anyway, again, I truly appreciate you guys for listening and engaging with me. And I just try to be transparent. Again, my podcasts are not meant to be unblemished because I don't edit. I don't do any of the polishing. I just speak from my heart. And I leave all the mistakes in because I think that's the world now. Everybody wants to be mistake free. Everybody wants to be blemish free. Oh my God, I'm not Jesus. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to pretend to be. I am just a man, a regular man trying to make it through this life like everybody else. So, and again, it's just something I revel in, being myself. And it took me a lot of years to accept being myself and trying to fit in all these different molds that I refuse to do. I refuse to try to fit in anybody's box. And if I could take those years back when I tried to, I would. So I'm saying live your best life now. I mean, that's just not a saying. I think you should live your best life because saving it for a rainy day, it may never come. The right moment may never come. So do it now. But anyway, also, I want to talk about my store, All Things Moetic. If you haven't got a chance, stop by. I am, like I said before, working on some new product. Hopefully by summer, late summer, early fall, I'll be having some new things. I'm redoing the page and making some changes to it. And also, I'll keep you posted, as always, on my Black Experience event, which is, a work in progress. But I also want to say, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for engaging this black man of a certain age. I really appreciate you and the positive feedback that I do receive from some of you. And tell a friend, about my podcast if you think they would appreciate it or would enjoy it. And again, thank you for listening. And as always, I pray life is treating you well wherever you are in the world, and that you're one day closer to your dreams, prayers, and hopes coming true. Have a good day.